state our claim. Our claim was that the federal minimum wage should be raised from $7.25 to $10.10. By doing this, our supporting claims were it would eliminate poverty, reduce crime, help economic activity and spur job growth, reduce income inequality, and provide people with enough money for everyday living expenses. My opponent here said that it would lay off employees by raising the minimum wage, but it actually does the opposite. When the minimum wage rises, it is usually phased over time. Therefore, as minimum wage rises, firms become more productive and efficient because higher wages reduce turnover, absentee, and hiring and training costs. Each time a worker quits a fast food job where turnover rates are exceptionally high, it costs the employer $4,700 to replace them. Using the low estimate of a living wage, raising the minimum wage to this amount would save firms a total of $2.1 billion, allowing them to avoid layoffs and afford the higher costs. Also, corporations can afford to increase the wages of their low-paid workers and not having to lay them off because they have all this money. And since corporations can afford to increase the wages of the lowest paid workers, since 1973, corporate profits have continued to soar as the American worker became more productive. Corporate America has even recovered the losses of the 2008 crash, with growth in profits returning once again to disproportionately higher rates than productivity wages, according to the Economic Policy Institute. According to CivilRights.org, a recent Upjohn Institute published a review of the evidence finds little or no effect on employment and hours. The extensive review concluded that with 64 studies containing approximately 1,500 estimates, we have reason to believe that if there is some adverse employment effect from minimum wage rises, it must be of small and policy irrelevant magnitude. My opponent also said that raising the minimum wage would not reduce crime, but in fact, crime rates will decline due to minimum wages. According to Atlantic.com, the report also found that increasing the minimum wage to $12 by 2020 would result in a 3 to 5 decline in crime, amounting to between 250,000 to 510,000 fewer crimes, and social benefit of $8 to $17 billion. According to the report by thinkprogress.org, 89% of murders and violent crimes in Chicago were in low-income areas and were mostly Black and Latino people living where wages are the lowest and extreme poverty rates are highest. Raising wages won't just be beneficial to the lives and wallets of Chicago's poor, it will also help the city overall. Researchers at the University of Chicago found that the financial cost of the gun epidemic, between hospital bills, time spent in courts, people leaving the city, and a range of other factors, cost households about $2,500 each year. So not only does it reduce crime, but it also saves money in people's pockets. According to Atlantic.com, the Council of Economic Advisors, the Presidential of National Economic Policy, found that higher wages for low-skilled workers reduce both property and violent crimes. as well as crime among adolescents. The impact of wages on crime is substantial. A 10% increase in wages for non-college educated men results in approximately a 10 to 20% reduction in crime rates. My opponent also said that raising the minimum wage would increase tax, but it does the opposite. According to Aaron Pascotti, a professor of economics at Siena College, said, by failing to ensure the minimum wage keeps pace with the cost of living and worker productivity, policymakers have created a situation where full-time workers earning the minimum wage have to rely on public assistance to make ends meet. Programs such as the Earned Federal Income Tax Credit, Medicaid, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance, and temporary assistance to needy families cost taxpayers billions of dollars each year. Half of this spending goes to working people earning less than $10.10 per hour. But raising the minimum wage this amount would lower welfare rolls by 1.7 million to people and reduce government spending on welfare programs by 7.6 billion per year.